Welcome back and join us. First time on the show, Bob Koshinski and my good friend Dennis DiPaolo. Fellas, welcome back to Spiel. How are you?
All of it. Great. We're doing great. Great to have you as always. So, you know.
This is amazing. You know, Dennis, it's 60 years for you. You and your team here. And Father's Day is upon us. And we've always shared stories about your dad, but there's something that is on your mind that you'd like to share, something about your dad that we're not privy to. What comes to mind?
You know, I think when you think Father's Day, I always reflect back, and my father grew up without a father, town of Interlagos. So it was very important for us as children when we were growing up that we traveled everywhere. We lived in Australia. My sister Barbara was born in California. We lived up in Calgary. We lived in Minnesota. So we always went as a family everywhere. I mean, we lived in the back of a Cadillac when that's where I slept, and my sisters and all of us. So I always reflect back on that you know, my father, who never had a father, was so close to us, and that was a major point in his life. Yeah,
I wish I met him. I didn't know your dad, but you know, you hear so much about him. But you know, Bob, there's got to be a time that, with your experience with the family, that the DiPaolos showed up for somebody that really many others didn't. What comes to mind with something like that?
What comes to mind, first of all, back in the 90s when we first started the DiPaolo Scholarship Fund, a letter was sent from a mother of a child, a handicapped child, from an organization, a school in Cheektowaga. Yeah. They were looking for help for a Christmas party. And I reached out to Dennis, and Dennis brought in Bud Carpenter from the Buffalo Bills. And we threw a tremendous Christmas party with players from the team and gifts, and it's been going on to this day. So that's
30
been
years later.
30 years later. So the DiPaolo family and the individuals have always been there when someone needs help.
Well, you've been a wonderful ambassador to the family in that, and you know, how important is Bob with you and your family? It's significant.
He's the voice. I mean, you call a restaurant here, you get all of our commercials, everything is always Bob Koshinski. That's his voice, and he's the conscience of our family. There's you know, life can be very hectic and different things in time, and he's one of my confidants that I call, and Bob, what do you think of this? Don't do that, Dennis, you know, or do this, and I suggest this. So yeah, he's a brother to me that I really look up to, and I appreciate all of his comments.
We all speak for many, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, as a sports journalist and heavy into media, Bob, for all these years, you know, you've seen legacies kind of fade in time. But what's so significant about the scholarship here with the DiPaolos that seems to kind of reinvent itself and prosper over all these years?
Well, first of all, I have to say, 40 years ago, Dennis's mom, Ethel, Dennis and I both had mustaches, so she thought we looked alike. So we looked like brothers back then. Not so much anymore. The Scholarship Fund continues and thrives because of the people that Dennis put on the committee, and Dennis's brother Mike, and now his son Elio's involved. And we've got some great individuals who are part of the high school wrestling community. But it's not just a high school wrestling scholarship. The foundation has given so much money. We started out partnering with Children's Hospital, with the Wrestling Legends of the Odd. And Children's Hospital has always been a beneficiary. People Incorporated, there's so many. When we do our dinners, half the night is thanking people who have given. And people like to give because they know where the money's going, and we help out people that need it.
Yeah, and when you come in here and you enjoy a nice meal and you're hanging, I'm sure you're well treated as everybody who comes through the doors. You got a favorite dish? You have a favorite wine that you enjoy?
Well, my favorite dish is linguine with either white or red clam sauce.
All right.
And Montebullo Abruzzo is my favorite wine that Dennis introduced me to, and I know that's Elio's favorite.
Oh, absolutely,
I heard some time ago that you're into white Zinfandel. Is that an accurate statement?
I like as Dennis's. I like the pop wine, you know, the sweet stuff. The sweet stuff. But yeah, I can do. I grew up with an Italian grandfather, and he would always give us a little half glass of Paisano who would come to visit on Sundays, as most Italians do. So I grew up with the red stuff.
That's wonderful. Bob, nice to meet you, and I'd love to have you back on the show
again. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to both of you fellas.
Same to you also, my friend.
Check out Bob's website at allserviceswesternnewyork.com, and of course, iliodipalo.com.
This segment of Spiel the Wine was sponsored by Elio DiPaolo's Restaurant and Ringside Lounge in Blaisdell.